Cook's Rod Shop. We're back out here in the shop, and we had fun at Back to the 50s. If you guys were able to see some of those little videos, we definitely need to get better at doing some of that. It's a little hard trying to spend time with the family and do videos, but we finally got the motor ready to go. Got 90% of the parts, we believe. Not gonna give a whole lot of information out on build the motor because we're just gonna wing this. Have watched a few videos. Last time I built a motor was 25 years ago. And like everything else, I'm like, well, now's the time to do it again. And if it blows up, we'll do it again. And so we will give you a little clippets as we build this motor and show you what we got going on, and we will show you starting up. If it blows up, we'll show you that too. So let's get right after it. We got the camshaft installed. It's all lubricated and ready to go. The one thing I know that I learned is it's easier to put the cam in before the crank, because then you can actually get in there to help guide it in and keep it nice and straight. I got the crank bearings in and they're ready to be lubricated, so we can drop the crank in. And now we're to putting in the rear main seal. So the one thing I'll tell you is the crank we're using is used crank. So we did get offset seal. So we're on a totally different sealing surface. So we're gonna try that one. Heard that helps out a lot when you're using a crank that hasn't been turned. And so we're gonna try that, and we will get that done. And well, off to putting the timing chain on. We got the crank in, the cam is in, everything's lubricated and spinning freely. So we are going to soak the timing chain in oil and get that installed, and then we'll be doing piston and rings, but it's moving right along. Okay, we have the pistons installed. Everything is turning freely. Timing chain is in. Put the fuel pump in just to hold the rod. And then we start cleaning up the timing cover. Oil pan and bolts are ready. So that's going to be the next part of this. We had a little setback, decided to take the heads in and have a little work done to those. So we're gonna get the oil pan and the timing chain cover on this, and then this is gonna come to a stop. And I will show you what else is going on in the shop, because we don't just stop there. We went up, and this is for the El Camino. Been working at that, getting that transmission cleaned up. I'd hate to tell you how much time I have into that. That's one of the worst transmissions for being dirty I've ever worked on. I don't know what they were doing with it, but it looks like it came out of a four-wheel drive vehicle, but it's getting close. So that's done. Come across, and we are set up. These parts were sandblasted together, but you can see that there's a lot of stuff that gets missed when you do that, so wasn't happy with leaving it that way. We're gonna get in there and clean all that up. This is one of the parts I just started on. Got to do a little more cleanup on that, but don't have a picture of what I started with that, but it came a long way. Just bought a cheap Harbor Freight blaster. Did some research on the internet, and there's actually a lot of upgrades you can do to that blaster, and we'll see if we end up doing it. At the end of the day, I don't know how much we'll be using it. I feel it'll pay itself off in this one car, so we'll use it for that. We do have our third brake light sitting over here in the blast area. We're gonna get that blasted, and that's for the 52, which is right there. And we need to clean that up after the car show we went to there, but it's back in here. So other than that, the car is not coming along too much, working on everything else, but the front clip still has not made it on. I did have to go in there and take the oil pan off, so I had to disassemble part of it to get the oil pan off, because we need the oil pan on the motor we're gonna put together. And let me show you some of the treasures we found at Back to the 50s. This is our old door for the 52, the upper rear door, and you can see how peppered it is with rust. And it is too far gone to repair, and just been using it to mock up, making sure the car didn't move at all. But there's no way to correctly fix all that metal. And so the plan was to finding another one, and when we were at Back to the 50s, we were lucky enough to be going through the swap meet, and we come across this. So very happy with this find. I wish they would have had the lower door, but I will end up fixing the lower door for now and have my eye open for a lower door. Some of the repairs we got to do is right here, and it's terrible. You can see where I penciled it off. I will end up cutting that all out and replacing all that, with the intentions of replacing that door when I find one. And I hope to find it before I repair it, then that'll never even happen. Okay, thanks for following along with this 57 build. We got the motor getting close. Got parts moving along, so definitely come back and follow our build, and please like, comment, and subscribe.